Hi guys, welcome back to another beautiful episode of the Immigrant story. So good to know we still have you with us, and thank you for your continuous subscription. This is a platform where we put together compelling immigrant success story as a motivation to help other immigrants thrive, and just helping them navigate their pathway as coming into the country, and just helping you find your balance and your next pathway. Just before we jump into bringing our guest, just want to let you know that this shoot is brought to you in collaboration with a brand called Set Up Villa. So Set Up Villa just rolled out their flagship product called Okko. So Okko is a loose zobo infusion that it's crafted and mixed with product like viscous, pineapple, ginger, and all the nutritious product that you can actually take and just revitalize your body and get rejuvenated. So the beautiful thing about it is they've given us a discount code, for our viewers. So use that discount code that's currently displayed on your screen, and you're gonna get like a 10% bonus. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. I remain your humble host, Samuel, and right now we're gonna bring in our guest. Hi guys, welcome back. And just like I said, I've got like an amazing guest for you today, and I'm just going to leave the platform for him to introduce himself. Make sure you mention all your accolades. Yeah guys, let's welcome Edwin.
Yeah, thank you very much.
It's so good to have you with us. I want you guys to know that this guy came all the way from Birmingham, and this has been shot in London basically.
No, they know where I stay.
So I didn't say he lived in Birmingham. I said he came from Birmingham. So guys, I just want you to appreciate him for me. Thank you for the sacrifice. I really do appreciate this, and it's so good to have you on the show. And the platform is yours. Just introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah, thank you, Samuel. Thanks for the opportunity to be here and be able to enjoy this platform with you at this point in time. My name is Eddie, and I am a co-founder at Energized Black. And Energized Black is basically a community of Black professionals, and what we do, we try to support Black professionals in the energy sector in the UK to start and thrive in their various careers. So we support them through mentorship, through training, and of course job support as well. And outside of Energized Black, my day-to-day, I manage products at EA Technology, and we develop enterprise software solutions for the DNOs in the UK, and most of the softwares are used by more than 25 million people across the country. So every day I wake up and know that whatever I'm doing is contributing massively to the global energy transition, but from a technology point of view. So a few bits and pieces of other things, but it's good to keep it there for now.
When we talk about a multitasker, that's this guy. So thank you so much for that introduction. I think one thing we have in common is we're both from Edo State.
And I didn't know until we spoke about it today.
You see how beautiful it is to like interact with people and just stuff like that. We're gonna jump into the questions now, and I want to begin with this. Like, how would you describe Edwin?
Maybe that's a question to you. How would you describe me? Like, you know me for months.
I'm not the one. It's not me answering the question.
How would I describe Edwin? I'm very passionate about the things I believe in. So I think on the core of my value system, passion is really there for me. It's very difficult to convince me that something is impossible. Right, so I don't believe in impossibilities. I thrive towards ensuring things are done, and every day I wake up in the morning and see the things I'm able to contribute to. What really motivates me is the fact that I believe it's possible. So apart from that, I think I'm just generally a chill person. I like to chase my dreams. I believe that you can dream without being asleep. And the dreams that would come to life are not the ones you see when you're sleeping, it's the ones you see when you're awake. Right? So I just like to dream big and just chase my dreams and believe that everything's possible until I see otherwise. So it's very difficult to convince me that something's impossible.
Wow.
So
thank you so much, Edwin. I know before we start jumping into like the more critical questions, I just want to understand. Tell us about your background. I know you've done quite a lot of things. Like what I'm aware of, you've done really tremendous work through your platform and other platform as well. But then I believe most times we always say our environment defines who we are.
Yeah.
So how was your background? What would you say shaped you into being who you are from your early stage in life?
My background, what I can see is the chair and the wall.
And
the
you
white
stop.
wall. That's what I can see. Yeah, I mean, like we were discussing earlier, I grew up in Benin, and not just in Benin, the place called Opasakoba. So, like quite not a very fancy place, people would say, but that's where I grew up. And I think while there were a lot of cons to growing up there were a lot of pros as well. And one of it is you are put out there to be able to interact with different kinds of people. So you would see both the rich, the poor, the ras, the posh, everybody is there. And for me, that is one of the things that I still see play out in my day-to-day, and in the things I do, the platforms I build, and all of that. So one of the things the background has taught me is being able to relate to different kind of people. So I irrespective of who you are and what level you've got into in life, I'm able to come there and just be able to interact with you. So growing up in Upper Sakuba, what we call street smartness.
I can attest to that.
Colloquially street smartness. So you grew up with a lot of street smart people, and it was something I was quite very intentional about. Even when I moved to the corporate world, I intentionally made friends with street smart people, and that kind of framed my relationship style. So the people you see that are very close to me today are those that are very street smart, rather than those that are academically smart. So that's how my background, I would say, and also being able to spot opportunities. And of course, you can tie it back to being street smart. So I know how to spot opportunities really quick in situations and in people. I can think of something and I would be able to spot the person that would go to implement that thing properly. So those are the things when I look back, I would say my background really has helped me to get to.
Wow. That's really amazing, because I didn't get to see Upper Sakomba as a mixed environment where you have the rich, the poor. I've always defined it as the rat in Benin City. So it's actually so good to know and how that have actually shaped your growing up as well. And I think that's gonna tie into your transitionary journey. So you moving from civil engineering to electrical engineering, moving to I think I got that somewhere. I'm trying to find it. So moving to oil and gas, and then moving to tech. What actually brought about that? Is it I think the market is evolving, this is trending, I think I need to jump into this opportunity, upscale, and dive into this?
Sometimes some of these opportunities will present themselves. And for me, I would always jump on opportunities. I would spot and jump on it. And I talk to people sometimes and I see how they limit themselves to what they can do. They would just follow one path and think, oh, that's the only thing I can do. I feel like I said earlier, I don't believe in impossibilities. I feel like everything is possible. And you can always give yourself the opportunity to grow and evolve. My background is electrical engineering, and electrical was nice. In fact, I didn't plan to study electrical engineering. I was going to study medicine, surgery.
Why is it want to go into
for some reason,
is it like your dad or your mom said?
My dad would be like, oh, you are smart as a child, you have to be a doctor. And I was wearing glasses as well. So there was this old doctor.
There's this thing with glasses and doctors going up.
So it was almost like, oh, you have to go and study medicine. And I was on that path, secondary school, high school, which we call secondary school back in the African region. And then I made friends with people that were very good in mathematics and physics, and at the time we stayed back in school and just solve mathematical problems and physics problems. I just fell in love with physics and mathematics. And then when it got to the point I was going to then apply to go to uni, I did the research. What field would be good with physics and mathematics that I can easily pass? And then engineering came up. I was like, okay, which of the engineering that is well multifaceted. Electrical
Yeah.
can work anywhere. And then I chose electrical engineering. And I was on that course throughout uni, of course, and after school, I got opportunity to work in oil and gas.
Yeah.
So my graduate entry job was in oil and gas. So while I was doing that, it was at that era where the old buzz of solar energy started from.
Yeah.
So around that era, Total had just partnered with International Finance Corporation, which is IFC,
Yeah.
also with Lights in Africa, to roll out, the awareness of solar lamps in the
Yeah.
African region.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I was asked to manage some of that project.
Oh.
I was just like, okay, this is looking interesting. And for you to have done that, that means I have to love study.
Yeah.
So my line manager at the time, she would ask me, go study about this product and come and tell us.
Mm.
So I'll do presentation in front of the MD of Total at the time. I was just young. I was a young
Yeah.
engineer, you would say. And that kind of just opened my mind to renewables. And then I started to dig for that. So from the oil and gas entry to then going to renewables, that was the transition for me, because that opportunity came and she felt like I had the capacity to study about it and present it to higher authorities or my senior colleagues at the time. And it was from there I kind of started delving into biomass a bit, and then doing some projects in Nigeria and also managed some projects in Ghana and South Africa for a company. Biomass projects. They were a little bit of small size projects.
Yeah.
But in Nigeria, biomass is not such a common technology. But at the time I was already doing it. So you can see how the transition from oil and gas then moved to renewables. And of course, in the era of renewable, technology is the biggest trend at the moment. So how would you then want to be in renewables and not want to see how you can incorporate technology into it? So when I moved to England, the first job I got, I was doing design for a company. In fact, when I went for the interview for that job, at the end of the interview, I was paid for the time I went for that interview. I was paid. They were like, oh, do you know what? This time you spent for this time, we're going to pay you. Because at the end of the interview, I solved the problem that their design engineers were facing. It was in conversation, they were like, oh, can you use OMA Pro and Helioscope? It's a software that used to do renewable energy design. So it does a design, and you can import the design into OMA Pro, and that software will do the economics of it. So you're able to do economic projection using OMA Pro. And in between the conversation, they were like, can you use the software? I was like, yeah. They took me upstairs to their design office. And when I got there, I saw their design engineer watching YouTube to solve the problem. And these were softwares I was using back in Nigeria. That I picked up. I actually picked one of them up from when I was working at Total, because one of our colleagues came from France at the time, Harvey. He taught me some of the technical calculations in solar. And then he had this software that I was using at the time. So I picked it up from him at the time. Of course, OMA Pro was other job that I did. But this was software I was playing with, back in Nigeria. I was like, I can do it. And then they gave me the computer, and then I did the design for them. I told them what the profit would be in the next few years. They're like, okay, you're going to do this job. Because I got the job. But I also got paid for the time I spent for the interview. So you could see how technology is revolutionizing how the energy transition is moving. And when I then left that job, because I didn't want to stay in Hull, which was quite conservative at the time, I felt like I should be in a much more city-based place. So I moved. And moving, the opportunity came for me to analyze, being a rover, I've been analyzing data. So I then went into data analytics, right? So how did I get to data analytics? Because back in Nigeria, while I was a technical manager for a company, I was doing some analytics for them, because the company I worked before then, I was very close to the data analytics team. One of the guys would drop me home at the time, because at the time I was not driving yet. When he's dropping me home, we're just having a conversation. He would tell me about Python and how you can use advanced Excel to. And I said, okay, no problem. I would go to his place on Saturdays. He would give me some tutorials. We would talk about them. I would go back home and learn those things. So I learned Python while I was just like an engineer. So what I'm saying in essence is that you really don't know where the skills you're learning
Yeah.
would take you to. And for me, if I'm going to summarize my transition journey,
Yeah.
it's because I focused on learning transferable skills that I thought would be relevant in the future. So I saw it ahead of time and I just learned it. So when I moved to England and the opportunity came to be a data analyst in my role, I just took it because it was easy. So I was analyzing data for like one of the government departments. They had over 800 sites across the country. And then they were driving their sustainability and energy strategy for 2035.
Yeah.
So they needed data for them to go to submit reports to the government. So I was doing that data analytics for them.
Yeah.
And
how really amazing. I think from what you've said, you've answered like 3 other questions I was supposed to ask. But yeah, that's really amazing to see how you just get in, grasping so much knowledge, not knowing what is ahead of you.
Yeah.
And that is where when the opportunity unfolds, then you just see yourself like executing.
Yeah.
And people will be like, who's this guy? I know you've mentioned a bit of this, like in terms of my next question, you've touched a bit of you moving to the UK.
Yeah.
But you didn't really state what brought you into the UK.
Yeah.
I know that response can be quite generic. Because it's something I've asked all my guests basically, and everyone is great at pasture. But I want to understand what influenced your movement actually.
And for me, I've always known that I would live abroad. Yeah, I've always known that I would live abroad. So it wasn't like the Jackpot syndrome. It wasn't that. I've always known, even as a teenager.
Yeah.
I think everyone in my family knows that was something I spoke about all the time. And it was because of the field that I felt I was going to practice in. So renewables and also technology. And I thought that I could do much more outside of Nigeria.
Yeah.
Looking at where Nigeria was at the time as a teenager. And most of the questions I was asking were questions I found in books that people did outside of the country. So that already gave me like an inclination that this field is much more profitable. So I always knew I was going to leave. So when the time was right, of course I was going to go to the US. I think most people would always say that as well. I wanted to go to the US, but a few complications here and there. And also there was also the bit where I felt like I would do a lot outside of the country and use the learnings to establish something back in Nigeria. So there was always that transition from here to here, and also being able to invest back home when the opportunity will come.
Yeah, this is just gonna take me back to how you had the opportunity to establish yourself in terms of learning Pythons and every other related skill, not knowing where it's going to take you to. I think I had a guest one time and he really stressed on how experienced themselves. So did you actually see these opportunities coming, or you're just someone who was really interested in knowing things back then and just decided to like, okay, I want to venture into this, venture into that, and you are those opportunities. Those learnings are actually like helping, those learnings and experience are actually helping you navigate the UK market.
I would say, like I said at the beginning, I know how to spot opportunities very quickly. Because I could be in a place just listening in and observing things. I don't talk too much if you know me properly, but I observe quite a lot, and because of that I'm able to spot opportunities in between the lines, in situations and also in people. So it's not because I preempted that I would use these things in the future. I just saw that people were doing it and it sounded really cool and I wanted to just learn. An example also is the first website for Energized Black. I built it literally just being on my laptop and working on it. And I built it on using some script language, HTML and CSS, if you're used to those languages. And then we've refined it over time. So I did those things not because I preempted, it's because I saw the opportunity, I just jumped into it. Right? So, and that's been my tactics all along. Just one side of the question, I think that's one side of the question.
You have basically, and that's, man, you've lived. You actually lived. But it's so good to know that all of this, all what you've been through, like the learnings you've acquired in the past, is paving the way for you right now, and just simplifying things for you basically, and which is gonna like take us directly to Energized Black. I know I had one of the co-founders of Energized Black a couple of months ago on the platform, and just speaking about your role in Energized Black as being a co-founder, I know you mentioned something about building things, and what really inspired that part. What was the thing you saw and you felt the need to actually collaborate or co-found Energized Black with someone of the same shared vision and idea?
Yeah. So most of the things we would talk about when it comes to Energized Black, if we are given opportunity to do introduction, we'd always say, oh, we go for events, we can see, it's like the cliche introduction, but that's the truth. Right, so we go for events and we don't see Black people represented.
Yeah.
And prior to Energized Black, or when we started Energized Black, I was working in a place where I was just speaking to my line manager at the time, and he was telling me he lives in one of the, I don't want to mention, so he lives, he lives in
somewhere.
Somewhere. So and then he was telling me, oh, the place where he lives, that there are a lot of professionals in sustainability.
Yeah.
That he thinks he wants to start something, then he would organize award and then they would pay and you make money. He was saying that. I was like, okay, that sounds good.
Yeah.
And then in my mind I was thinking, I was like, okay. I went to another event that was organized by Technician, and it was about technology.
Yeah.
And you'd always see me in those events. And then a lady came to me and said she's the founder of Black Tech in Brom. I was just like, hey, Black Tech in Brom. I was like, okay, cool. I was going back, I was like, do we have something like this in Energy?
Yeah.
I was like, no, we don't. I was like, yeah, I think I'm going to do this, right? And luckily for me, show was coming like a week after.
Yeah.
And then when he came out, I was like, I'm thinking about this thing, what do you think? And then he was like, oh yeah, there's this thing he has, Sustain Jobs, where he posts jobs for people within the group. And right down there, we said, okay, well, let's start this. And that's how we opened our laptop, we set up meeting, took 2 weeks meeting, we set up some strategies. We had our initial name. Yeah. Days after I started building the website. So that's how we just started, because we felt like there was really like this gap. And looking at what we've done so far on the journey for Energized Black is just a good testament to what it was before and what it is now. The event I go for now, I would see people that are members of Energized Black. And they'd be like, hey, I'm like, wow, nice to see you. Like, being able to put faces to some of the names that I know, on top of my head. So for us, I think we're building a transformative space in the energy sector. And there's much more that we're going to do. We just started, but there's a lot more opportunity we're going to do. But just to answer the question, that's like the brain behind seeing that gap and seeing that, oh yeah, we need to do something about it. Yeah. And then that's how the vision was bettered.
Yeah, guys. If you don't know about Energized Black, if you've not participated in any of the events, I think this is another medium for we to like shout out about Energized Black. So if you're within the energy and sustainability space, we're gonna have the handle display on your screen. Check them out on Instagram, check them out on Twitter. I think it's a space you want to belong in if you're within the energy and sustainability space. It's just a place that fosters people of like-mindedness and with same shared value. And if you're actually seeking opportunity in the space of energy and sustainability as well, I think it's a platform you need to actually leverage. Energized Black is actually trying to increase the representation of Black professionals within the energy and sustainability space, and I think there's been a massive impact that community is making. So yet again, definitely check that out. And yeah, feel free to reach out to Edwin if you want to reach out directly to
Instagram.
So, that's good. I think in your, just moving on, in your profile you mentioned something about SDG7 as something you're also driving. Tell us about that.
Well, it's a global community of youth that are really advocating for the energy transition, and it's led by the United Nations. So I'm a constituency member, and across different platforms we try to support people that are doing fantastic projects in the energy sector. So people that want to be entrepreneurs, that are building technology, they have funds and resources that are given to people like that to do it. And for me personally, projects that I see that are very much worthwhile in the SDG7 community are those that are targeted towards advocacy, energy advocacy, to make sure that people know much more about the energy transition. If you walk in the street and ask someone about NetZero, they will not know.
Exactly.
If you talk about what are the effects of climate, they probably wouldn't know. You just know that oil and gas and fossil fuel are not good for the environment, but you don't know the details, right? So advocacy for me is like key. And another one is climate finance. We've struggled with climate finance for years. We all know how it started from the Paris Agreement of 2015, and then there was a pledge that would be like annual repository of 400 billion every year up to I think 2020, and then potentially that could continue to 2025. But then that fell short for like 2 years, so we couldn't achieve 2020 until 2022. And now in the last call, they've said, it has to be like $1.3 trillion in 2035. But to be given like 300 billion every year. And that's quite insignificant because everybody's contesting it, right? So anything that will push how we can, be much more collaborative in climate finance angle, for me that's also very key. So advocacy and climate finance, because without the climate finance, there's not much that we can do to push the energy transition. So it's in that space I play in the SDG7 community.
This guy's portfolio is massive. I think he should run for maybe something, I don't know. But yeah, just trying to connect all of this to the immigrant community. I believe there are people within the immigrant community that are looking out for, roles within energy sustainability, or they've got that as a professional background but don't know how to transition into the UK market. So in terms of the best approach, the best strategy and the best communities and resources out there to leverage on, what is going to be, just speaking from your experience and pouring it out there and see how that can be beneficial to other persons who are striving to be in the same space with yourself.
People always say network. But yeah, it's efficient as well. I think that's important. You have to network. Even before coming to England, I was already applying for roles here in the UK. Because I came through masters, I came to school, and other people came through jobs. Others just apply for global talent that they're here and they're trying to then get into the workspace. But for me, I came through master's degree program, and I know that at the time there were a lot of companies that wanted to develop projects back in the African region. So they were looking for people that had experience that they could partner with, and that gave me an opportunity to apply for jobs before I came. One of them that I thought I was going to get, I didn't get that one, but eventually the first job I actually got it through a recommendation from my lecturer. So for those of you that are in schools that are doing your masters, I think you should build a network with your lecturers. So they come to class. What I realized, they will come to class, lecture, but they will speak about some of the partnerships they have with industries to roll out projects, innovative projects on campus. So when I was like, okay, these people, they know people too as well. So what I did was I go home one day and I sent my CV to all my lecturers. All of them. I outlined all the things I've done back in the Africa region, and I put pictures of all the projects I've done. And I sent it to all of them, both the professors and the associate professors. And then one of the professors called me. He was like, "Oh, you come back to see me in the office." And I go there. I think he wanted to know, who is this guy? All these things that you've done. And then he asked me a few questions. I was able to answer, and right there and there, he sent my CVs to like 4 other companies. And 2 of them called me for interview. One of them was in Bristol at the time. I couldn't go because it was quite far. And one of them is in Hull. And it was that one I went for the interview. They paid me for the interview because of the things I've done. So I think network and being able to put yourself out there. So if you're doing your masters, speak to people, speak to your lecturers. Of course, Energized Black as well. So it's a community that's majorly supporting Black talent in the UK. So if you want to get an opportunity, Energized Black is a point for you to reach. I know people talk about some platforms that use AI to generate opportunities. I don't know about the potentiality of those platforms. But for me, I think networking was just something, and being able to be very proactive. And I think also that lecturer called me not necessarily because of the project. In the first trimester, I had the best grades in class, actually finished like top of my class, my masters. So maybe grades would also put you there as well. You know, I know they say grade is not important, but maybe try and get good grades, and maybe that would also open some doors for you. Maybe I don't know. Yeah. So.
But yeah, that's basically what worked for Edwin. He's actually putting out his experience and see if it's something you can replicate in your own journey. You never can tell the opportunity that might arise from there. So I think that's a good pitch in a way. So take it on board and just try to implement that in your own journey and see how effective it can be. Like I said, feel free to contact any of ourselves. If you want to reach out to Edwin, if you want to reach out to me to connect with Edwin, this is what this platform is here actually for. So just going back to people who are not within this space, and I know sustainability renewables is a buzzing word right now. The market is like up and about, so much funding and everything. NetZero 2050, that and that. So people are like looking into opportunities that they can, transition into the space. What are like I know you didn't. Yeah, you at the point, there was like your journey was transitionary at a point, moving from electrical, oil and gas, coming into technologies, focusing on renewable, and through that you moved into the technology space, still focusing on energy. So that transition was there in your journey. So for people who are looking into moving or transitioning careers, I know if I'm the one, I've picked one or two things from what you've said earlier on how that can be done, but do you want to like expatiate or like emphasize more on that?
Yeah, so in the energy and sustainability space, we've moved from the social era to the green era, and now we're in the sustainable technological era. The social era was more of advocacy. The earth is going to collapse because of course it will not collapse. People were just a lot of working groups trying to advocate for the issues of climate change, and nobody was doing anything about it. They were just working groups. And then we moved to the green era, where people started to introduce sustainable processes into their business processes. And then investors were a bit much more interested in how you are implementing sustainability in your business. There was not a lot that was also done, but people did projects to curb climate change problems. And now we've moved to sustainable technological era. So there's no way you want to chase energy and sustainability and not use another hand to be chasing technology. I feel like there has to be a marriage of both of them. And how do you do this? Just be proactive enough about it. Because when it comes to energy and sustainability, the technological era is going to span for a long time. With the use of, you can see AI is the buzzing word now. Anybody that is developing anything, there has to be AI as a part of the process. I was at one hackathon a few days ago, and we have a ChatGPT for energy connections now. There's a company building like a ChatGPT for energy connections, and it tells you how best to build your connection that is much more suitable sustainably. So people are doing a lot of things, and digital twin is another buzzword that's coming up. So you can't really drive energy and sustainability without technology, and just being able to be proactive and learning these skills. The platforms and resources are online. You can pick them up, right? I spend a lot of time on YouTube. Me and YouTube 5 and 6. I spend a lot of time on YouTube. I was joking with a friend of mine one time, and I was speaking to her. She wanted to hold a 90s party, and then she was looking for DJ. I was like, I can't do it. She said, how? I said, I can't do it. And then she's like, okay, no problem. Send me some demos. And then I went to YouTube. I learned how to be a DJ in a small size party. I took the gig. I got paid. I went to take away. So for me, anything you tell me that I cannot do, I'll go on YouTube and learn it. Like YouTube is, I have YouTube tabs open my laptop, a lot of them. So these resources are there online. You just need to sit down and and just spend time. It could be boring, but if you give it time, you don't have to do 2 hours or 5 hours. It could be 30 minutes every day, you learn a particular skill. And if that amounts for the next 3 to 6 months, you realize that you become a badass.
So someone said 1 hour every day is 365 hours in a year. So which is
it's a lot.
We might think that it's small, but I always like this thing, compound interest. I always like the compounding factor for everything, not just the now, but the compounding factor.
You can learn it.
But just seeing how our conversations are like connecting the next question, you talking about technology and responding to the question I did ask, just make me think about your product actually.
Which one?
EQ. Yeah, it said which one, which means there's so many ones. So we need to set that on here right now because that's a multi-billion project coming up.
Amen.
So yeah, I think when I saw you posted EQ on your WhatsApp one day, and I just stumbled on it on Instagram at Echo Quadra. I was like, this guy. So tell us what Echo Quadra is gonna be about.
That's a very good question. I heard when people say that they're thinking about the answer to the question. So before I talk about Eco Quadrant, I had the opportunity to work on a project last year, and I developed like a pathway analysis for 2 countries, one in Africa and one in Europe. I can't mention names because they don't publish.
Yes.
So what basically, it was a government contract, so they gave it to someone and they contracted it to me. I wish I can say that right. so they contracted it to me, and basically I was tasked with the opportunity to build like a pathway analysis. So looking at the energy mix, what they are now, what they could be in the near future. So I did a projection from 2020 to 2060, and I replicated that in Africa and a country in Europe. And that's one of the thoughts that is going to EQ, an AI platform that does that automatically. One of the projects took me about 3 months to do because it was a lot of data gathering and a lot of sleepless night of analyzing those data. And I was going to say something. So the first job, the first one I did, I wasn't sure I'll be able to do it. And then they were like, "Can you do this job?"
You said yes.
I said yes. And so when I said yes,
optimist in you.
Then I said, "Okay, send us a methodology of how you would develop this."
Yeah. And
I told them, "Do you know what? Give me 3 days because I'm currently not at my base. But when I get back, I'll send it to you." I think I was in Glasgow at the time for work, and then I spent nights and nights. I don't think I slept up to 10 hours or 3 days, and watching videos and reading PDFs. And my analytics skill also helped because I knew how to analyze the data, but I've not done that project before. It was a project for a whole country. And I was asked to build that project. And so I spent days developing a methodology and then sent. So when the second one came, I just thought, I've done this before. Right? So that's the brain that is going into EQ. EQ is an AI-powered platform that is able to ingest data, and with that data is able to create a scenario and make projection. There's a lot that we would do in the other platform moving forward, but the MVP is going to be more of a one-stop shop for energy and sustainability, where you get resources, and then with that resources you're able to create a lot of scenarios for energy mix in projections into the years coming. That's like a summary. There's a lot, but that's a summary.
Guys, watch this space. So follow this guy on Instagram. Follow him. But it's beautiful to see how we immigrated into a country and making a difference. I know people will like to think there's always a limit, there's always a boundary, there's always a stoppage, but people are going above and beyond to just making sure they actualize their dream regardless of where they find themselves. So being an immigrant is never a limit. There are people out there just like Edwin and every other person who's been on this platform you can reach out to and just draw motivation from it if needed and when needed. So guys, trust me, this is a platform you want to share, this is a platform you want to subscribe, and in fact, the more I'm saying it, just start subscribing right now as you get one. But watch the space for EQ. It's something I'm also looking forward to, and it's something I'm actually pushing out as well. Edwin's a great guy and he's doing a great stuff, so follow. So I think we've touched on your background growing up. We've touched on your professional life. We've touched on what you're building, what you've been involved in, what you've collaborated in. Just reflecting on your proudest moment as an immigrant in the UK. What is going to be the advice you can give to the immigrant community?
I would say be the best at what you do. Thrive for excellence, and be good at your crafts. So whatever craft you decide to change, just be good at your craft. Make sure you're good, and your excellence will speak for you when you're not there. I would also say be very proactive. Spend time looking for what's the next big thing. Don't just be comfortable, at the current situation. Ask yourself, what's the next big thing, and in that next big thing, how can I plug myself into it?
Yeah.
So I do that every time, looking for, okay, where's this thing going?
Yeah.
Where is this career? Where is it going?
Yeah.
How can I twist it a little bit? Be proactive and be bold. Be bold. And don't work in silos, because it will not help you at all. And I know people come to this country and say, I just want to be on my own.
Yeah.
Don't work in silos. The things you're trying to do, people have already done it. Look for those people that have done it. Maybe on LinkedIn, anywhere, any platform you could see, and just learn from them, connect with them. Right. So don't work in silos. Be intentional and be proactive, and be good at what you do. Just be excellent at the craft.
Be proactive, intentional. Don't work in silos. Be good at what you do. I believe if you've got these 4 things going on, the sky is going to be your starting point. I'm not saying I'm there. That might doing all of it. But this is from someone who's been in the process and gone through the process and is in a better position to take you through the process as well. So guys, I feel if you're to adhere to what he said, I think this guy is going to be a starting point. So just another quick question. Just within splits of seconds, going through your journey so far as an immigrant, what is one thing you would want to change, or you if you have the opportunity to?
Yeah, I think things happen for a reason. I wouldn't practically say I want to change anything. We don't know what the future holds. For me, being here, I'm a Christian, so I believe in faith. Faith. So I wouldn't really change anything. So all the experiences I've gotten, or the ones I've been able to do, both the good and the bad, I feel like they've contributed to where I am today. But that being said, I would have been in the US. I would have gone to the US.
I know my next question, you might want to laugh, but
so I laugh a lot.
What do you miss about Nigeria?
The food.
Okay.
I miss the food. I miss the community culture. It's Christmas period. Christmas is boring in this country. Everybody's just going to be in the house. I'm looking at the ceiling. And back in Nigeria, back at home.
You can come to mine. I'm doing something for Christmas, something big.
The community life, and to just pick up car key and drive to your friend's place. You guys will vibe together, enjoy, go back home, really happy. It's not like that here. So for me, the food, the community, and of course family as well. And not seeing your family. Since I moved to England, I've not gone back to Nigeria.
That's what year again?
Since 2021.
Wow, okay.
I'm not going back to Nigeria, so I miss my family. I know they know that I'm very stubborn. They feel like they've given up on me, but they feel like he'll be fine. Just leave me alone wherever he is. But family, food, and culture. I do miss it. And just waking up every day and entering the street, everybody looks like you. For me, that's true. I miss that feeling. Everybody looks like you. Everyone looks like you. But you're not sure how people look at you.
Me just thinking that through, myself asking that question, seeing it's Christmas season, just remembering how you can go from your neighbor's place to the other. You can eat rice here, drink juice there, someone that dash you money here.
We're growing up, they will send you to go and eat food to one uncle Sakolo, and then when you get there, they'll be like, Uncle Sakolo must drop.
Uncle, I'm leaving.
I'm leaving. And then he will give you money, say, thank you, tell your grandmother thank you for me. And then you move to like 5 hours.
Exactly.
And you don't blow.
As a child, there's so much money you gather this period.
With your big spectacles and stuff like that.
It's amazing how it used to be in pink, green, blue color, different color glasses. But that's good old memories. I know they say all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy.
Is that true?
Is that true?
Well, I play a lot though.
Well, in terms of, you just talked about how we don't really have the community kind of a thing within the UK most times. How do you really unwind? And this is the fun part of the conversation that we've gone past the serious.
I sleep. I sleep. Yeah. So I don't know, when I play game, when I can, I play game. One thing I love to do every day, I take long walks. Like every day, like in the evening, I'll just take a very long walk. That makes me decompress. You know, and something I enjoy doing. I love to swim when I have the opportunity to. Yeah. And I love to play lawn tennis when I have the opportunity. I'm quite sporty. Yeah. And growing up in Upper Sakoba, you will play. You will play. In fact, play and then go home in the night, looking all dirty and rough. You play ball every day. Every day. So because of that, I'm quite sporty. So anything that has to do with sports, you know, I enjoy stuff like that. Yeah. So because I cannot be running every day, I'll just take a walk. Definitely. So those are some of the things. And travel as well. When I have the opportunity to travel, and when I travel, I look for the local food in those places. Yeah. And then also look for monuments and buildings. Yeah. I love symmetry and structures. Yeah. Those are the things that catch my fancy when I travel. I'm looking for like nice structures. Yeah. So if you follow your Instagram
story,
like I'm always looking for structures and I love symmetry. I don't know how that relates to my personality, but I love structures and symmetry and you know, good architectural buildings. Yeah. So I love to see those things. And
well, that's so good to know. That you still play while you walk, because some people are just all serious.
I'm not workaholic.
But I think we're coming down to like the end of this.
Oh wow!
It's been a very interesting and informative session so far. If I think myself have learned one or two from this conversation, and I believe you out there definitely watching this, you're definitely gonna pick one or two you can implement in your own journey as well. It's great to have you on the show, Edwin. Once again, I really want to thank you for coming. I'm sorry we really do have to go. I know Edwin can like unpack so much from now to like, I don't know, whenever. That's just a testament to how much he's got inside of him, which is a good thing, guys. So I want to say a very big thank you for coming again. I really appreciate your presence. And like I said, you can connect to Edwin on Instagram, on Twitter. You're just going to see his handle display on the screen. But guys, feel free to reach out and feel free to just let us know who you want to see on the platform, who you want on the Immigrant story, whose story do you want to hear, whose journey do you want to like know about and see how that can be effective in your own journey. So guys, feel free to reach out. And once again, a very big shout out to Setovilla. Thank you for the product. I'm gonna display the discount code again, guys. Reach out and get their flagship product, which is known as Okko. In the local man term, Zobo. I know people from my end is gonna know what Zobo actually means. So it's actually a mix of very good products that is, you know, that can help in like your vitality head wise. So guys, definitely check it out. I'll share the Instagram handle as well, so do want to check it out. And I want to give a big shout out to Tara. She's at the back of the camera. So, thank you for the support, and guys, till the next episode, do want to share, do want to comment, do want to subscribe, and I'll see you. Is there any last word from you, Edwin?
Thank you for coming to our channel.
All right guys, peace, cheers.